This is the start of a new project. It's a Triumph Spitfire 1980 Mark V 1500, the last one of the Spitfires, I believe. I thought I'd just do a little video of what I'm looking for in a new project. I've obviously gone to see the car and I've priced it, but I couldn't see underneath it. I couldn't see even one side of it. So let's have a good look at it and see what we can establish. The first thing that stands out massively is this massive gap. I can get my finger in there. This is supposed to line up with the back edge of the bonnet, and of course it's nowhere near, so I'd say the outer sill has been replaced. We can see the sill is proud of the arch there, indicating it's too far forward. Looking at the door, we've got a very tight gap here, and yet at the front it's touching up there almost. I think it probably was touching. So the door can't come forward, and yet that's what it needs to do to get that gap right. What I'm just realizing is this wing has been replaced. There's a good indication there. You've got this black primer that comes on panels that you buy aftermarket, and it's usually black. And obviously they haven't even keyed the paint because the yellow's coming off the black. Has the rear wing been put in the wrong place? Not sure. We can see some evidence of tack welds there where the new wing has been welded on. Not the correct procedure to do that. Looking at the back edge of this wing, it sits slightly beyond the boot. And like I said, to get the gap on the door right, the wing needs to come back further. So that is why they haven't done that, because that will make this gap wrong. And it looks like the bonnet gap is okay. I'll measure that properly and we'll see what the situation is with all the gaps. It's a similar situation on the near side sill. We've still got a big gap. It's not quite as bad as the other side, but it's still in the wrong place. That is still slightly proud of the wheel arch there. We've got a better door gap at the back end. This wing looks like it's been replaced as well. But if we look at the alignment to the boot, that's good. And the gap to the boot is okay at the top. On this door, we've got a slight gap at the top, which is much better. Something I see a lot on these era of cars is the door bottom sticking out like this. This is quite typical, and it doesn't look good, does it? It needs to be sorted out, and that will be to do with putting a twist in the door to make that sit right. The first thing I notice is the bonnet is slightly high against the scuttle panel, and that needs to be dropped down before I can start measuring gaps, and it's the same both sides. The height of the bonnet looks to be adjusted by these rubber stops here. Doesn't look like that's going to move too easily, and I can't get much heat on it because there's a rubber bit, and then of course the clamp pulls it down against the rubber. The bonnet is now in line across there, and I've measured the gap with a digital caliper. So we have 7.2, 8.1, 8.7, and then 3.7, 4.8, 6.4, 5.8, 4.5, and 4.5. Therefore, the bonnet against the scuttle panel is pretty good. It's only 3.7 there, 4.5 there, so not a huge difference between those 2 points. It gets wider in the middle, but there's nothing adjustment-wise you can do about that. This door is pretty much where it should be. That gap out there, if it was to come this way, that would get a little bit too tight, and yet we have quite a big gap there. If we look at the other side, 4.6, 5.5 and 3 mil. That is obviously a lot different than the 8 mil we have the other side. This door needs to go backwards because it's touching there, but I've already mentioned that it's too tight down here, so it can't come backwards unless this wing is modified or moved. At the moment then, I'm thinking this door needs to go back and this needs to be modified to suit. The boot gap I've measured 4.5, 4.5, 4.9 and 4.8. So he's pretty in line with the back of the car. Happy enough with that. And like I said, this wing sits slightly beyond the boot lid. This door could maybe come forward 1/2 mil to 1 mil. That door needs to go back 1 mil or maybe more. The boot's in the right place, the bonnet's in the right place. Both sills need to be moved so they align, and the modifications to the offside wing. One of the first things to do with any new project is measure the gaps and find out where everything is or where it should be. What I see a lot with amateurs is they'll start a new project by taking all the doors, boot and bonnet off, and then you don't know where anything's in the right place. You have to get the gaps right first thing. Because all the panels were left on, that took me about an hour. And I've had it before where I've gone to pick up a car and they've said, oh, I've taken the boot and the bonnet and the doors off for you. And that set me back a good half a day because I have to put it back on, get it all back lined up again. Not a clever move. The next thing to look at is the chassis. Just check for any accident damage. You'll normally see evidence of that in the form of puckering of the steel. So it's good to have a good look at that. The chassis doesn't look too bad. He's in pretty good condition. New outer wings, as I mentioned, but the inner wing is rusted. That's going to be tricky without removing the outer wing. Doable though, if I needed to. The boot floor and rear valance is shot. It needs replacement. There's some patch panels on the floor. They need to be removed because it's an overlap, kind of MOT repair. You can see how the outer sill was welded to the floor panel. As that needs to come off, I can rectify that. Looks like the chassis has been jacked up there. Can't imagine it's supposed to be bent like that, although the other side is similar. Just made this mistake twice, I think. You can see how curvy the bottom of the sill is to the floor. It's supposed to be straight. It's easy to get wrong, actually. You don't tend to pay attention to what's going on when you clamp in bits of metal together and they pull out of straight. Mind you, it's probably the worst I've seen. You can see the boot floor there is a bit rough. And the back panel, the bottom of that one is not good either. Quite a bit of work to do on the bonnet as well. Overall, not terrible, but still a significant job. This is quite handy, look. Engine settings. Got firing order, rocker clearance, breaker gap. You wouldn't get that on a modern car, would you? More likely to say something like, do not put your head between bonnet and car. No guard on the fan, look. And no health and safety warning. Now then, where to start? That's always a difficult question, isn't it? I think I'll start with that bit of rust there. That's the important bit. Here is actually where I'm going to start. The passenger door. I'm going to get this twist out, hopefully, and then I'm going to make sure the door is level across the tops and as aligned as I can. Then I'm going to weld a bar across the top, and then I can remove the outer sill and we can see what's inside there. I'm going to move the passenger seat and we can have a look at the floor and start repairing that as well, hopefully. It's advisable with any convertible to weld a bar across the top to stop any movement of the body shell when you're working on sills. I've had a little go at twisting the door and it's moved a little bit, but we've still got this gap down the bottom, and I don't think twisting it anymore is the right thing to do because we've got it inline there and inline there. So it's like this part of the door needs to go in, but not the rest of it. But actually, if we look at the sill, it is bowed. Now, this happens on some cars, but most of the time you'll find that the sill continues straight and it doesn't come out to meet the wheel usually. And if the door's straight, which it is, straight like that, and this isn't straight, then you're always going to have a gap down the bottom like that, which can't be right. I'm thinking that this sill and the wing there should be further out to meet the door. I can't imagine Triumph leaving it like that. Don't think that's right. I've seen on some cars where this wing comes out like a flared arch, but only after the door. It wouldn't come out before the end of the door because it's just wrong. I think I'll proceed from here, get that bar welded in across the top, get the sill off, and we'll have a better idea what's what. I've welded the bar in place and now got the sill off. On most convertibles, you'll have a sill membrane, and that's what this is. So you have an inner sill, a sill membrane, and an outer sill, making up the complete sill structure. We can see this one actually isn't very well attached to the floor, and it appears to be original, which is a bit strange. We've got some repair work that's been done over here, which needs to be rectified. You can buy this complete panel, so I'll put a new panel in there. Important to note, I keep the door on all the time when I'm doing sills, and the bar doesn't prevent the door from shutting. I can shut that right up. I can't at the moment because I've undone the check strap, but the door shuts completely and I can see what the gap is doing if it's moving at all, which of course it shouldn't. That is just a little video on what to look for in a new project and perhaps where to start. I mean, I started with the sills. The sills are the most challenging part to this car, so best to start with the hardest part in most cases. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more videos on this car. Haven't decided. It's a bit similar to the Alfa Romeo, isn't it? Just the English version. I do want to do some more testing videos on weld strength. I've got a tensile tester over there. We can pull some samples apart, fusion TIG, MIG weld, and I also want to do some fatigue testing as well. I've got a machine to do that, so that will be interesting.